Next up, we've got the Modernest from CA South. You two are presenting an interesting, bit different opportunity zone investment strategy from CA South. These are OZ condominium investments. So for the next 10 minutes, the floor is yours. If you'd like to take it away, please do.
We're talking about Nashville today, an area that really doesn't need much of an introduction. I've done opportunity zone deals there before, so we know they work already in Nashville. There's no special underwriting that needs to take place, but definitely somewhere that we see long-term growth and long-term appreciation in real estate. So that's what we're excited about.
Well, Jimmy, thank you again for having us here today. We are excited to be here to share with you all as some of the very first folks to hear about the Modernest, which is CA South's new brand, newly launched, and truly a new way to invest in real estate, to travel, and to stay. So we would love to share with you all of the details. If we can move to the next slide, that would be great. We can move to the next slide. We've already introduced here. I'll give you a little bit of information on CA South. CA South is a leading real estate development firm based in Nashville. We have been developing successfully in that market for almost 10 years. Next year will be Meg, who's the founder, and CA South's 10-year anniversary. So we're very excited about that. We have developed office, industrial, residential. Most importantly, we're talking about today our for sale condominium residential project. So almost 470 residences with 260 in the pipeline with the Modernest, which is very exciting. Next slide, Vanna. Thank you. The Modernist, as I mentioned, is a refined collection of residences. So you're going to see really beautiful architecture, forward-thinking design, and incidentally, these two projects happen to fall in qualified opportunity zones. What also makes them very interesting is they allow for flexible ownership. What that means is an owner can live there for any period of time. They can rent the residence out for 1 to 365 nights a year without the need to put it into any sort of rental pool. So you can rent for as little and as long as you wish. And you can ultimately rent full time. So we have many investors who have purchased in our projects over the years who may come to Nashville once a year to enjoy a night out on Broadway, or may never come to Nashville. And I'll get into a little bit further as we go along, but we're presenting a true turnkey opportunity for investors to purchase without having to worry about things like, how am I going to furnish? How am I going to manage? We've truly thought of all of that and have covered that. I will get into that a little bit further, but before that, I'd like to turn it over to my colleague, one of our attorneys, who will probably be happy to hear me say that we are not trying to sell any securities during this presentation or throughout our sales process. So with that, I'll turn it over to Josh.
Yeah, I'm just a tax guy, so I'm going to stay out of that stuff.
You don't care about that.
Yeah, Jimmy, we'll go to the next one. Yeah, so Jimmy was alluding that this is a little bit different. We've talked a lot about today about ground up development. And usually that's what you're going to be looking at in opportunity zones. That's what I'm usually looking at. It's about building something up really and hitting the substantial improvement test. Here we're talking about something different because CA South's already been building these things. We've already broken ground. We're already looking good as far as construction, but what you're going to get is an original use qualification. So instead of having to do the substantial improvement, we just want to say that it's new for OZ tax purposes. One of the foundational rules of the Opportunity Zone program is that an investment into the program has to be a new investment into the program. And so there was, when the OZ program was developed, there was question over what counts. Is it a TCO? Is it a certificate of occupancy? It's not in there right now. But accounting firms have come out and gotten comfortable with over the years that a certificate of occupancy is when depreciation really begins. And so the point of this program, what this matters for you as an OZ investor is that your capital gains can be rolled over and into an OZ investment, into a condominium project, as long as, depending on what the locality is, that we say, okay, this is before it's been placed in service for depreciation purposes. So we feel comfortable about that right now. It's going to be before TCO. These units have never been placed in service for depreciation before. So they're going to have all the typical tax benefits of an opportunity zone, the deferral of capital gains, the potential permanent exclusion upon sale of the property. We're going to go to the next slide now. The next thing is just flexible investment timeline. When we're dealing with things like condominiums, even if you were talking about the whole condominium project, it's just a lot more flexible into the building and the delivery of that project. And so there's more predictability on the investor side over when that time is going to be that we can get those tax benefits, right? When is the time we're actually going to place these in service in? And so in a condominium type project, in an investment situation like this, the investor has a lot more control over that, right? They have a lot more control over when they actually start and gain entry into the tax benefits associated with OZ. So, and also at that time, obviously start to gain depreciation benefits and other just non-OZ benefits. So I think that the condominium structure in general, and particularly this project, allows investors, there's a lot of product out there in real estate investment that claim to have flexibility, and I think this one really backs it up by having some flexibility. All right, we're going to go to the next one. Along those same lines, the structure of the investment itself is why it's flexible. Individual condo units are available in this program. And so that allows the investor to both have, a small investment, a large investment, without having to enter the market and take on the complexities of the full market, without having to, potentially manage an entire building, without having kind of all these external costs that come with the larger project. So, and also it's a smaller amount of capital. So we allow different kinds of investors in with different kinds of investment strategies. And again, they all get to benefit from the Opportunity Zone program. They all get to, this potential exclusion from the sale of the project at the end of the 10-year holding period. Jimmy, just one more. And then finally, I haven't heard a lot of talk about this. I know there's been a little talk about short-term rental and the income potential from short-term rental. We see a lot of follow the leaders in real estate industry, and so many people have moved into the short-term rental space. And so we think that, Opportunity Zone investors can be part of that same wave, that the use of short-term rentals in order to generate cash flow and while still getting all these tax benefits really, again, provides investors with a lot of flexibility. And just being in Nashville, we're going to get those strong returns anyways, because these are places that people want to come and visit and that would be attractive for short-term or medium-term or long-term. Again, the investor has the flexibility between all of these, but condominiums traditionally, having use for short-term or non-long-term leases is something that we find attractive. I think there might be one more slide, Jimmy, for me, but if not, yeah. So this is just coupling all of the exact provisions that we have. Like, this is not just an OZ play. And I liked before when someone said, you start with the investment deal and then you layer on the tax benefits, right? The tax shouldn't wag the dog. The tax should not wag the dog, but it's hard to ignore in this one, right? We've got the condominium benefit, the bonus depreciation that would come along with, just any type of real estate investment. So we still have that here. We have the bonus depreciation tied to that. And then we have the OZ benefits layered on top. It's really just a lot of things on the menu that all come with the same package here.
Wonderful. Josh, thank you so much for that really great information. Jimmy, if we can move to the next slide, please. So why Nashville? We touched on that a little bit, but Nashville is a no income tax state with incredibly low property tax. Between 2010 and 23, Middle Tennessee added over 500,000 new residences and is among the fastest growing metros in the U.S. I think we all have friends, colleagues, people who have moved to Nashville for various reasons. And when you drive around, you see the cranes, you see the overwhelming growth that's happening within the city. It's very clear that it is a very attractive place to invest. Jimmy, you can move to the next slide, please. We hear about Nashville. I don't have this on the slide, but we hear about Nashville being the bachelorette capital of the world. It is booming on a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The traffic, the buzz, the people, the vibe is really unbelievable. So to be in this condo hospitality hybrid space is truly something that we believe in, and we believe it's particularly interesting in this market. You'll see #1 best leisure destination in the U.S. By Global Traveler. 7 best food destinations in the U.S., which is very evident if you spend a weekend in Nashville. And importantly to us, in 2024, there were 9.9 million hotel room nights sold, reflecting truly the strength of tourism. And if you look at the room rates, what it costs to spend a night or a weekend in Nashville, it's comparable to any large metropolitan city. Certainly, I sit in Chicago, and room rates are higher certainly in Nashville than Chicago and many other cities. The average rent, so this is long-term rent, is $2,300 per month, which is over 9% higher than the national average, with rental prices set to rise by another 2% by the end of this year. Jimmy, if you could move to the next slide, please. So now we dive into the good stuff. We have 2 projects in Nashville, both sitting in qualified opportunity zones. This first project is the Modernest WeHo. It is within the Wedgwood Houston neighborhood, located at 1425 4th Avenue South. This is offering 129 flexible ownership residences, once again in Wedgwood Houston. Wedgwood Houston has become an area that is truly a destination within a destination. It is a stone's throw to Soho House, to the new Hermes store, to the Bal Harbor pop-up shops, and a number of other great music and restaurant destinations. Truly an outstanding location, and something that a few have commented on today, not something that we often see in opportunity zones. These residences are under construction, delivering in early 2027. And prior to going to the market, we have about 15 residences under contract. We are taking contracts currently, have residences priced from $300,000 to $1.4 million, and are offering studios, 1s, 2s, 3, and 3 bedrooms. Okay, we can move to the next slide. The next project is the Modernest Gulch View. The Modernest Gulch View is about a mile away from our Wedgwood Houston project. It's located at 1107 8th Avenue South, along this corridor that is experiencing a tremendous amount of growth, where CA South has deeply invested in other projects within the area. And just to see this project and this area coming to life over the years has been so exciting. This is going to be 131 flexible ownership residences that you can short-term rent out. And what I love about this project is it kind of feels like the epicenter, like you spin off and can be on Music Row in just moments. You can be at Vanderbilt in just moments. So really taking advantage of the parents who are looking to purchase a residence when they come to town, visit their kids at Vanderbilt, rent it for income producing when they're away. Both of these projects were designed by Studio APA out of Los Angeles. Alex Pettis is really the brand ethos behind CA South's work, and is a genius. You'll find really tremendous architecture that you would expect in a world-class city. Both projects are going to be highly amenitized with a true health and wellness focus. So imagine arriving, your residence is not quite ready yet for the weekend, so you can get a workout in, cold plunge, infrared sauna, sit by the pool, have a coffee, have a glass of wine, all while waiting to start your weekend. So we've truly thought of, I think, the guest arrival, the experience, and how it's going to feel to live or stay within these projects. Next slide, please. As I mentioned, we are in our friends and family phase. We have not gone to the open market. You won't find us on the MLS or Zillow or anywhere else. So it's a true opportunity to get in very, very early, which is important because getting your pick of the litter is always a great thing. And of course, friends and family pricing is wonderful to take advantage of at this time. We are taking 10% earnest money at contract, and again delivering in early 2027. Something I'd like to further touch on. We started talking about the turnkey nature of the projects. We have purposely developed a management company that will oversee, if you wish to sign up for it, the short-term rental management of the resident. So that's everything from helping you to get the residence furnished to all of the items that need to be within the unit to make it ready to stay in. And of course, the management. So managing bookings, cleanings, all of the things that you might be thinking, how am I going to do this from Idaho? Well, we've thought of that and are very excited that we're able to do that at a very competitive rate. So that we are really keeping as much of as much income, as much money in your pocket as we possibly can. Next slide, please. You can go to the next slide, please. I think we're right at 10 minutes if I time that properly, Jimmy. How are we doing?
Well done. And that is the very first time anybody has mistaken me or referred to me as Vanna White. So thank you for that, I guess.
You did a wonderful job.
Terrific presentation.
Thank you for saving us.
Terrific presentation. Thank you so much. Did get a comment here from Jerry Ryson, who I believe you know, or I know he knows Meg at least. He says, Tennessee does have a franchise and excise tax that acts as a fairly high income and business property tax on entities. Boy, he goes on for a while. Basically, Josh says he agrees.
Yeah. As with anywhere, like we talk federal tax here, but state tax is important too, right? Like tax a mile wide. Tennessee has some quirks you obviously want to be aware of in structuring. There are ways to structure around it. We can talk about more.
Excellent. And then let's see. Muru asks, interesting, many on menu on the same package. Do you have cash flow return based on the menu for investors?
We certainly do. We have worked with Victory, our management partner, again, hospitality-driven management partner who truly understands average nightly rate, occupancy, and we've partnered with a third party to pull all of that data. If you're familiar with like AirDNA, this service can pull all of that data and grab you what are 10 units that are very similar within a 1 mile radius generating per year. And let's look at that compared to your costs. We've priced these units so that in just about every case, these are positively cash flowing, even with debt service included. So Victory Management, I'm happy to run through pro formas with you for any type of unit, whether it's a studio 1, 2, or 3 bedroom, and we can really take a deeper dive. But we do have the ability to produce a pro forma based on your individual situation for every unit in each of the buildings.
Perfect. Well, we're out of time. We're out of questions. I need to move on to the next presentation.
Thanks, Jimmy.
Josh, it's great to meet you today, and Heather, good to see you again. And wish you all the luck you can have. And thank you so much for your support of OpportunityZones.com and for the event today. Really appreciate your time. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure to be here. Take care.